Hello children, welcome to the class. Today let us discuss about the unit 3 of sociology, social movements. Children, in this lesson you are going to learn the meaning, nature, origin and evolution of social movement, environment movement, women's movement, alcohol prohibition movement, farmers movement, workers movement and untouchability prohibition movements. In today's class, we are going to discuss about meaning, nature, origin and evolution of social movement and the meaning and the beginning of environmental movement. Children, before going to discuss the lesson, let us do an activity. Children, identify the personalities. I will show you the pictures of great personalities and you have to identify them. Children, who is this? He is Gautama Buddha. Who is this? Yes, you are right. He is Mahavira. Children, who is this? He is Basaveshwara. And this one? She is Mirabai. Who is this? Purandara Dasa. Children, can you identify him? He is Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism. Children, who is this? You can easily identify him. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Children, all these personalities and the others tried hard to bring about changes in the society through their writings and through their actions and through their way of life. Today, let us discuss about the social movement. Children, in the history of India, we come across many movements like Bhakti movement, socio-religious movement, etc., leaving a strong impact on the society. Take for example, Bhakti movement has traditionally been considered as an influential social reformation in Hinduism and provided an individual focused alternative path to spirituality regardless of one's birth or gender. So, the Bhakti movement influences the way of life of the people in the society. And children, we can mention here socio-religious movement. You have studied in the history class the socio-religious movement. This movement brought about many changes in Indian society. Take for example, Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He founded Brahma Samaja to bring about social reformation and he is considered as the chief initiator of the social reformation in India. And influenced by him, Derazio started Young Bengal movement and Swami Dayananda Saraswati founded Arya Samaja and he started Shuddhi movement for the reconversion of the people who converted into other religion. And Dr. Atmaram Panduranga and Mahatma Jyotiba Phule as well as Swami Vivekananda and others tried hard to bring about changes in the society. See, these are the movements which have taken place in Indian society to bring about changes in the social aspects, in the social behavior of people. Children, people like Buddha, Mahavira, Basava, Sharanas, Dasas like Purandara Dasa, Kanakadasa, and Sufis and Dr. Ambedkar have fought and led movements against caste system. This system allowed upward mobility. See? So, social movement is a social interaction. Children, let us discuss about the social movement, the meaning and its origin, and how it evolved in the society. What do you mean by social movement? Social movement is a social process that is related to social mobility, changes and transition. You have studied in earlier classes in previous years what is society and how is the social behavior of a person and different social interactions. See, the social interactions influenced the behavior of other person or the group. This social movement, when we call the social interaction as a movement, it is a process that related to social mobility and it brings about changes in the social behavior and the customs and traditions in the society, and it transforms the social behavior of a society, the social aspects of a society. So, social movement is a social process. Now, let us discuss about the nature of social movements. A social movement is a planned one. Every social movement is a planned one. We can see different type of social interactions, social behavior in the society, so, and different groups in the society, different gatherings in the society, but not all the gatherings are not planned one. There may be unexpected gatherings, but a social movement is a planned one interaction in the society, and every movement has a goal and plans to achieve it through a program of action. Through the program of action, it is an organized activity led by the leaders. And this movement is a natural as they have been happening and happened and will be happening in future too. Social movements have been the part of human society. Since its evolution, it is the part of human society and it is natural. It is natural for any organisms to oppose things. These social movements started to oppose the things when something challenges its very existence. If the people are facing problems in the society and when there is the challenges for the existence of the people, then the social movement start. And human beings are also the part of this process. Human beings are the part of social movement. And a social movement is a community-based program. It is not an individual program. It is not related to an individual, but it is a community-based program. And among various community processes, social movement is important and unique. We can see so many community processes around us, but social movement is very important community process because it brings about changes in the society and there is upward mobility. Many movements have been taking place and have taken place opposing exploitation at personal level as well as community level. Many movements have been taken place. It may be the opposition at the personal level or at community level. But resistance offered at personal level is not called as social movement. If it is related to one person, it is not considered as social movement. It should be related to the community to bring changes in the customs or traditions in the society, not for an individual. So, if it is in personal level, it is not called as movement. A social movement is a social platform that enables people to showcase their needs and visions. It is a platform. The social movement is a platform to showcase the needs of the people as well as the visions of the people. And people who participate in these social movements undergo many unexpected changes because social changes, people who participate in these social movements undergo many unexpected changes, go through new experiences and develop new social practices. It is a social behavior and the people interacting with each other, and there is many new experiences and many unexpected changes taken place in the behavior or in the thought process of a person or in the society. So, there may be an unexpected changes and new experiences, go through new experiences and develop new social practices. Children, every social movement creates new models of social changes. We can give an example here. Mahatma Gandhi ji believed in the beginning that truth is God. He always said truth is God. He believed that. But after he interacted with different people like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and others, finally he stated truth is God. See, he changed. Earlier he said God is truth. But after interacting with other people like B.R. Ambedkar, he stated truth is God. This is the result of Gandhiji's interaction with various personalities in various social movements. So, every social movement creates new models of social changes. Social movements have been taken place in all places. It is not belong to any one place or two or three places. Social movements have taken place in all the places and in all the time. And many movements have brought in permanent social changes. We can give the example here, Indian independence movement. It is one of the examples for social movement. This movement brought in permanent change in the Indian society, in the administration as well as in the social aspects of Indian society. But some movements failed to leave permanent impacts. Some movements brought about permanent changes in the society, but some movements failed to leave permanent impacts. Children, let us discuss about the origin and evolution of movements. Children, in our daily life, we come across many minor frictions in the social life. Many of them arise there itself and vanish later. They are not permanent. They create temporary mobility for a moment. They do not create any permanent change or they do not create long time effects, but they create temporary mobility for a moment. These are recognized as the beginning of a social movement. At a later stage, mob assembles, leading to mob violence, and many a times without any favorable circumstance also violence starts. There may be violence in mob. Children, let us discuss about mob. What is mob? You come across so many experiences. You have seen the mob around us in different situations. Mob is a collection of people which gathers temporarily around a common interest. Here, the collection of people gathers temporarily around a common interest. There is common interest, the people gathered, but it is temporary gathering. And mob is a collection of people who have assembled at a particular point without any prior plan and gathered to express some decision. Children, observe the wordings here. Mob is a collection of people. The people are gathered, but they assembled at a particular point, but there is no prior plan. Without any prior plan, unexpectedly they gathered together and they gathered to express some decision. They may express their decisions, they may express their voice, but they express their thoughts, but it is not a planned one. It is unexpected gathering. The unexpected gathering is called as mob. Can give so many examples for mobs. Here, a group of people who have collected in front of a theater. They came to watch a movie. They came for a purpose, but it is not a planned gathering. So, it is an example of mob. And we can give another example for mob. A group of people who have gathered around to know more about an accident. If there is an accident in the accident spot, the people gather to see what happened and what is going on, what is the severity of the accident. But it is not a planned one, but there is a crowd. So, this is an example of mob. Mob is a gathering without any goal. It is a temporary gathering. Sometimes there is violence in the mob. Mob violence is another example of mob behavior. When the behavior of mob turns violent, then it is called as mob violence. Look at the picture. There is firing in the mob. When the behavior of mob turns violent, then it is called mob violence. Children, there would be no unity in mob violence. Here, antisocial elements lead the mob towards violence. They lead to destroy the public property. Antisocial elements worked here. So, this leads to violence, and it is unexpected violence, and they create confusions in the beginning, and out of confusion violence grows out. Many a time mob violence results in major deaths also. There may be deaths in the mob violence. The mob violence resulted in the deaths of people, and there would be no definitive reasons for the behavior of mob in violent mood. There may be no definitive reasons. It is unexpected, but the violence taken place. And they create a serious law and order situation sometimes. Sometimes they create a serious law and order situation. For example, communal violence, racial violence, caste violence, political violence. See, these are unexpected mob violence. And this violence has now become active in rural areas also. In rural areas, many issues like caste, land and religion have become the motivating factors for mob and mob violence. Children, mob violence leads to the dominance of antisocial elements, and mob violence is controllable. Mob violence is controllable through effective use of police, military and other agencies of the government. Children, till now we have discussed about mob and mob violence, the meaning of social movements and the nature of social movements. Now let us discuss about some examples for social movements like environmental movement, alcohol prohibition movement, women's movement, etc. Let us discuss now the environmental movements. See, environmental movements are the scientific movements aimed at preserving the biological systems, and the scientific protest aimed at curtailing the various activities that are polluting the earth, air and water, and they never appear instantly. See, while studying sociology, you have to link the social aspects around you, the social aspects in the society, what is happening in the society around you. See, environmental movement, we came across so many environmental movements to protect the environment. It is a scientific protest. They never appear instantly. It is planned one. The social movements are planned one. Like that, the environmental movements are planned one. And they aimed at curtailing, means to stop the various activities that are polluting the earth, air and water. They are the result of many years of exploitations of nature and tribal people. Here we can give an example of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha was formed in the year 1973. But before 1930, tribal people of Jharkhand had opposed the action of companies that rendered thousands of tribal people displaced. See, here the reason is the displacement of tribal people due to mining activity. So, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha was started. It was formed to oppose the displacement of tribal people. And Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is one such result of these agitations. And many movements started emerging after various developmental activities founded by the World Bank resulted in the displacement of tribal people. All the movements opposing rising global temperature, exploitations of water resources are grouped under environmental movements. And many intellectuals and academicians have joined hands with the common people in holding movements to protect the environment. They brought about many changes, and most of them are successful in protecting our environment. Children, now it is the time to recall what we learnt in the class. Children, what is social movement? Answer the question. Social movement is a social process that is related to social mobility, changes and transitions. Children, what is mob? A mob is a collection of people who have assembled at particular point without any prior plan and gathered to express some decision. Children, what is mob violence? When the behavior of mob turns violent, then it is called as mob violence. What did the environmental movements aim at? Environmental movements are the scientific movements aimed at preserving the biological system and curtailing the various activities that are polluting the earth, air and water. Children, today in this class we have discussed about the meaning, nature, origin and evolution of social movements and the beginning of environmental movement. In the next class, we are going to discuss about different environmental movements and the women's movement which started to oppose the exploitation of women, and the alcohol prohibition movement and the farmers movement which began with the denial of the land taxes and to draw the attention of the government towards their problems, and the workers movement which started to uphold the workers' rights and the untouchability prohibition movements. We have to discuss briefly about all this movement in the next class. Thank you.